nutrition, vitamin-full, nutrient-full, healthy nutrition?
That's a tough job if you're living in the world, unless if you're living in an urban center, it's definitely a challenge, because for that you have to live on a farm and grow your own food, which is definitely not practical. So we've come to that place where the nutrient levels are coming down significantly, and various substitutes are being talked about. People are talking about all kinds of other alternatives. One alternative is, of course, popping pills, and to what extent means, I must tell you, I was driving in Los Angeles just last month, and I see a 15-floor building, that size hoarding, 15-floor building size hoarding, full building sized hoarding. The only words on it is, "My favorite pharmacy." I thought, when did pharmacies become a favorite place to go? Next thing is, I was looking for a board, "My favorite hospital, my favorite cemetery," somewhere. These are all places we go to, and it's inevitable, all right? Nobody… See, when you say a place is favorite, that means you want to visit that place. It's like a favorite restaurant, a favorite holiday place. Favorite pharmacy, favorite hospital, favorite cemetery, no, because these are places you go only when you must go, not otherwise. But what they mean by this is that today, particularly in United States, they've become very conscious that there is not enough nutrient in the food that they are consuming. So everybody is popping dozens of pills. Healthy people, I'm not talking about sick people. Very healthy people are popping dozens of pills because micronutrients are missing. Today there's enough study to show various chronic ailments that we are suffering, including the incidence of cancer and children suffering from ADD and various other ABCD, you know, all the 26 alphabets. Largely or partially could be because of nutrient deficiency. There is substantial study to show that the amount of psychological or mental illnesses that people are going through is also because of nutrient deficiency. There is very significant studies in this direction now. Today, you know, all of you must know that about a year ago or maybe 6 months ago, the WHO warned the world that we are heading towards a mental illness pandemic. When we use the word pandemic, what it means is, that is, if we sit in this hall, if one person has got something, we may all get it. We are all susceptible, that's a pandemic. So when we talk about mental illness pandemic, they're talking about a suicide pandemic. It is some of the studies, hope this won't come true, they're saying by 2050, up to 2 to 5% of the human populations could be aspiring to commit suicide. Last year, in 2020, in Japan, more people committed suicide than the number of people who died of the coronavirus. So we don't really need the virus, I'm saying. So, all these things happening, one way or the other related to soil, because who we are right now here is just a consequence of what's happening in the soil. Today everybody understands without a gut microbiome, you cannot digest the food that you eat, you have no assimilation of nutrients. And this is the same with the soil also. In the soil, the same is true. Without the help of the microbiomes or the microbial activity, without all those complex little life that is there, plants cannot get its nutrients. So if don't do this experiment, it's very cruel, but if you take a tree, don't damage the entire tree, just take off all the leaf from the tree. It will try to sprout back, take it off, take it off. A tree will die within 12 to 18 months because only if the tree captures the carbon from the atmosphere, converts into carbon sugar and pumps it down into the soil, the microbes will give them food. Essentially, if the tree runs out of cash, this is the cash Carbon sugar is the cash with which it buys its food. If you deprive it of its money, then it will die without nutrition. So, this green leaf is that important. If we have to go back to the history of this, because I see a lot of green shirts out here. So, this happened maybe scientists say approximately 1 billion years ago. A very smart algae or a fungi, one of them, suddenly got a bright idea. Like you heard some caveman or woman, generally they say it's a man, okay?
Cave woman.
But about who discovered the fire and learned how to cook their food with this fire.
Cave person.
Maybe it was a woman, but because she set fire to the man, they said the caveman was on fire. So whichever way, some 15, 20,000 or 100,000 years ago, somebody discovered fire and found out how we could cook our food with fire. Since then, the world has not been the same, all right, for all of us. Similarly, this algae or fungi discovered how to cook its food with solar energy, which is a perpetual energy from the sun. So this phenomena of cooking their food is called photosynthesis. And this is the most phenomenal thing that is happening on the planet. We are all alive only because of that. Because before photosynthesis started, the oxygen content in our atmosphere was just a shade over 1%. Today it is 21%. That's why we are all alive. And all the complex life forms are capable of being alive on this planet only because of the oxygen content in the atmosphere. But if you look back and see, 1,000 years ago, how much photosynthesis was happening on this planet, and today, how much photosynthesis is happening? Take a guess. How much drop could have happened? Guess, just guess.
A couple 100% maybe.
Couple of 100%.
Unfortunately, maybe not that much, I don't know. Let's say a little 30%.
85% drop.
Okay, that's horrible enough, yeah.
85% drop in photosynthesis has happened. Never before planet has been this bare. All agricultural lands are bare, urban lands are paved. They are plowed, these are paved. This is the main problem. So, everywhere all these, online scientists, or let me call them WhatsApp scientists, they read 2 messages and they become scientists. All these people, if you say